had to walk through a cemetery. Not a stereotypical, shabby, haunted one, but one that had many people walking through and was usually full of maintenance employees.
What kind of cemetery when you just drove through in the public? That's so disrespectful to the dead. Oh my god.
I remember walking by a group of them sitting on the benches on a break.
What the hell?
Went in and sat down quietly.
What's good, YouTube? Dahmerz here. Welcome back to another reaction video. Today we gonna get a little spooky on y'all. So this is wine scene entertainment, non-horror stories animated, just like we did last time. He had them crazy stories. Remember the lady with the fucking legs? She ain't had no legs, but she had the eyes.
I felt strange.
Like, run.
I was going crazy while looking at her.
Fuck the tire and
I
oh my, bruh, nah. So we got 9 more horror stories. They could be true, they could be fake. It could have happened to you. You never know. But we're gonna hop right into this. Y'all want to follow Wine Scene Entertainment? The links will be down in the description along with this video and his main channel video. Give him a subscribe to this channel, thumbs up, and we're gonna hop right in it. Make sure you get your snacks because this gonna be a long video. We got 31 minutes and 38 seconds to kill. So let's get up in this joint. Let's get it started.
I have 3 sisters, Crystal, Kiara, and Melissa.
Okay.
I'm the youngest and only boy.
Damn.
Growing up, we lived in a haunted house. In fact, the neighborhood was haunted.
The hell? Who
All
moves
the
to a
neighbors
haunted
had
neighborhood?
experiences. Apparently, it was all built over a military grave site, but I'm not sure how true that is. This was years ago. I was about 5, I think, and my sisters were around their early teens. Our cousin, Vincent, who we call Vincy, was staying over. He's the same age as my sisters. We used to play hide and seek with all the lights in the house turned off.
I used to do that too, bro. I'm still small. I don't know if y'all ever met me in person. Probably somebody did. I don't know, but I'm a short guy. I was even smaller as a kid, dude. I used to have the best hiding spots since I was so small. I can hide behind the goddamn refrigerator and the goddamn cabinets. Y'all not gonna catch me.
Apart from any room our parents were in. So this night was going great. The only source of light was a flashlight that the seeker had. Crystal was usually found quickly
Flashlights?
because she had, and still has, really long curly red hair.
Oh.
And it almost glowed bright orange in the light. Kiara has long straight blonde hair, so she was found quickly too. But Melissa and I have black hair, so we could blend in better. However, this night, Kiara was the seeker. She found us fairly quickly and only had Vincy to find. So she went to our parents' room and shined the light inside. Our parents had 2 white wardrobes that were attached on either side of a white dressing table, with a mirror on top of it.
Okay.
Kiara could see one of the wardrobe doors was slightly opened, and inside of it, in the darkness, she could see eyes staring out at her. She laughed and shouted, "Found you, Vincy!" But the eyes didn't move. They just stared at her. "I see you, Vincy."
Oh, sorry.
She laughed again.
She don't know.
On the opposite side of the room, the curtains of the window flew open, and Vincy jumped from the window ledge laughing.
No.
Kiara looked at him in confusion.
It's like The Conjuring when she did the, bruh.
Suddenly, the confusion turned to fear when she looked back at the wardrobe. The eyes were still there, wide and staring at Vincy, but then slowly looked back in her direction. Kiara screamed and quickly turned on the room light, and they could both now see that the wardrobe was empty. Nobody hiding, no pets, no boxes, nothing. Hide and seek in the dark soon became a memory after that.
I bet you they never played that game again. They fucking traumatized. Creepy abandoned building horror story. Okay.
This happened a few weeks ago. I live in California.
Cali.
I've always been good friends with this kid named Ethan.
Ethan?
We had all the same interests, so we got along
Video
great.
games, chips,
That's
Coca-Cola.
besides the point. There's this old abandoned house a few blocks away that has been vacant for years. I have no idea why it was never fixed and sold. The point is, it's abandoned.
I hope they don't get an idea to go inside this abandoned house.
All the neighborhood kids are always telling rumors about the place. And to be honest with you, I never thought they could be true. The house was creepy as fuck, though.
Damn.
So one night, while Ethan was staying at my house for the night, we decided to sneak out at like 1 a.m. to explore the place. We brought along our phone.
I didn't see how old they were, but they look young enough to know they asses shouldn't be in an abandoned house or leaving the house that late at night anyway.
Phones for flashlights and to record.
Oh god.
So we rode our bikes down the block and found the house. It was 2 stories high and made of
Where the
brick,
fuck that cat get up
broken
there?
windows, and an overgrown lawn. Basically all the natural traits of an abandoned house. Ethan and I hid our bikes in a bush and went around the backside. Oddly enough, the back door was unlocked.
It's
One
inviting
of the
y'all in the
rumors
building.
is that local homeless people, drug addicts, and gang members all hang out here. So the fact that someone seemed to have
I'm pretty sure drug addicts don't hang out with the gang members. I'm positive that'll happen if the gang members are selling them drugs. Like, yo, you want this crack? All right, come hang out with me and you can have some of this crack. Like, they ain't got no guy. What? All right.
been here kind of freaked
Okay.
us out. Inside, it smelled like shit. It was so dark that if it weren't for our flashlights, we definitely wouldn't have been able to see anything. We walked through what appeared to be a kitchen, around through a living room, into a foyer. Just as we were about to go upstairs, there was a sudden, loud thump. Ethan and I both
Boom, I'm
jumped
out.
and stood frozen.
I'm out. I wouldn't
think
even been
someone's up
there.
I whispered to Ethan. Yeah, no kidding. He said
It's a known fact that 1 out of 2 kids that walk into an abandoned building is gonna get fucking kidnapped.
back. Let's check it out. Dude, are you fucking crazy? I said. But Ethan either didn't hear or ignored me, as he was already halfway up the
I guess
stairs.
Ethan is that 1 out of 2.
As much as I did not want to go up there, I decided to anyways because there was no way in hell I was staying down in the dark
I agree.
alone. We
I
got
used to be a punk
upstairs
too,
and
man.
heard an identical thump down the hall. Holding up my phone to continue recording, I reluctantly followed Ethan down there. We approached the doorway
the
and
fuck is
glanced
that?
through to see someone standing by the window. It was so dark, all we could make out was a brown sweater he was wearing. We knew he had to know we were here, because we had already shown the flashlight on him. Ethan began to cautiously walk towards
Why?
I stood back by the doorway.
Are these kids fucking stupid? Ethan, you are that 1 out of 2. Goddamn idiot. Look at his face. He like, Ethan, don't go. Ethan like, I'm determined. I wanna see
walked
his
up to the
face.
guy, strained his body to look at his face, and screamed.
Who ain't had no face?
Shoved the guy, who fell to the floor, stiff like a statue,
What the hell?
and grabbed my shirt collar as he tugged me away from there. I dropped my phone as we nearly trampled each other running down the stairs and out the back door.
Ooh, boy.
Got on
You
our
know how much that
bikes
phone
and pedaled
costs?
fast as possible back home. Apparently, when Ethan had walked up to the stiff man, he realized that the man was some sort of taxidermied human, with black sockets where his eyes had been taken out. At the same time, he heard a crack in the floorboards from across the room, and saw the silhouette of a man huddled in a dark corner watching him. We had the nerve to go back to the house a few.
Hi, little squirrel. You heard that too? They had the nerve to go back to the house a couple days later. Talking about find my iPhone. Fuck no. Android gang. Bow bow. Here we go.
Few days later to try and find my phone. But it was gone,
Yep.
as the taxidermied human and whoever was in that house. We didn't dare report it to the police for fear of getting busted for breaking and entering and sneaking out at night.
You ain't gotta find my
I know.
iPhone.
I guess that sounds stupid now. Ethan and I are still great friends in high school.
No, what if he got pictures and shit in his phone and they gonna find out where he live
And
at?
this memory is still one we will never forget for as long as we live.
Yup. Bruh. Creepy deep web horror stories. Ooh, I love
A few years
these.
ago, while I was in high school, the deep web was becoming very popular. I never really got into
Welcome to the game. Those games are fucking creepy. I can't ever play it. I'll watch it, but I'm not playing it. So don't ask.
it until my
Don't
friend told me
ask.
about it because he was into that weird stuff. One day after school, I had nothing to do, so I went onto the browser Tor. I didn't really see much, so I called my friend over so he could help me out. Once he got to my house,
Mario and Luigi.
we started searching more and more. We saw a lot of drugs and illegal weapons, stuff
The
like
deeper
that.
you go, the more
Then he
scarier
clicked
it's
on a
gonna
link
get,
that
bro.
was in a chat room, and the link said, "Watch this." As we're sitting there, we're just staring at the screen that went from black to the outside of a building within a few seconds. And out of nowhere, a sticky note that said, "Want to see something cool?" So then I typed, "Yeah, sure." What was weird was the guy wouldn't type. He just showed sticky notes in the camera. And he also never spoke. All of a sudden, the camera started moving toward the building that it was facing.
I thought it
As
was
we're
their
watching
house.
him move toward the building, we noticed that the building was in our neighborhood. Then he quit moving and put another sticky note that said LOL. That kind of creeped me out. And then a person entered the building, which was eerily dark. The camera stopped at a padlocked door and then unlocked it and opened it. The camera moved toward the back of this dark room, and there was a dog bowl on the floor.
What the hell?
Now at this point, the camera was only facing the dog bowl. A few moments later, whoever the person was that was holding the camera put something in the bowl that looked
Ew.
like just slop.
It looked like shit.
Honestly, it looked like feces.
Yeah, yeah.
Then you hear another door open and a
Oh,
girl crying in the background, along with a chain dragon. This girl shows up in the camera crying with a chain
Oh
around her
my
neck.
goodness.
And the guy shoved her face in the bowl and puts a sticky note in front of the camera that said, "Cool, right?" Then the screen goes black. We sat there for about 10 minutes in disbelief, but the stream was still live. Then out of nowhere, the camera was back on. Then it was in the corner of my street.
Oh my god.
Then another sticky note that said, 545 East 99 Street off for St. Clair. That was my address. Then another sticky note that said, "Open the door."
No!
We sat there confused, then out of nowhere, a knock at the door.
Y'all about to
I
die.
grabbed my phone, jumped up, and we both ran to the back door. Then we heard a knock at that door right before I grabbed the handle. At that point,
He
we had
fast.
someone at the back door and someone at the front door
It's
knocking. We were stuck. Critical thinking wasn't my strength at that point. We ran upstairs, called the cops, and locked ourselves in my room. The cops showed up, but no one was outside. The
Bro.
only items that the cops found were 100 sticky notes, all with my address written on them. I told the cops about the building with the girl, and they found it. The girl
She
was
not there?
14 and had been missing for 5 weeks.
Oh my god.
We moved out of that house within a week.
Good. You should have moved the
But-
same damn day.
I would never visit the deep or the dark web again.
Yep, learn your goddamn lesson. They found out where you live. Wait, they got on there looking at drugs and guns and shit. And the minute they clicked that link, so happened dude was literally up the street from them. Like, that's how fast they fucking found you. It's crazy.
One day, when I was in the 6th grade, on a rainy day, I was walking home. On my walk, which is about a mile or so long, I had to walk through a cemetery. Not a stereotypical, shabby, haunted one, but one that had many people walking through and was usually full of maintenance employees.
What kind of cemetery will you just stroll through in the public? That's so disrespectful to the dead. Oh my god.
I remember walking by a group of them sitting on benches on a break.
What the
I
hell?
thought nothing of it as he stood up and started walking at a
Oh no,
fair
he looked like a
distance.
pedophile.
After a bit, I looked back at him and he looked down quickly. He was in the same
Run!
baby blue uniform as the others
Run!
and had a gray beard. But I made out a name tag, Frank P. As the other workers faded from sight, he was still behind me. I began to worry. A moment later, he called out, "It's wet, huh?" in a friendly voice. I chuckled politely and agreed. My worries increased a second later when I walked out.
You
and he was
run,
still
but don't
behind
go
me.
home.
I was close to my house now and it started to pour.
Don't go home.
My house in sight, I started jogging to get there. I glanced back and I saw the man, visibly
You know where you live at
angry,
now.
start running.
Oh my
When the
God!
house got closer, I
He
began
said,
to
"Fuck that
scream.
umbrella."
I didn't look back as I slung the key out of my backpack and opened the door. I looked behind me. I saw the man in the middle of the street. I walked over to the phone and dialed 911. Before I called, I looked out the window. He was gone.
I bet he was.
I told my mom what happened when she got home. She didn't believe me. That night, I couldn't sleep. There was lightning outside, and I could see occasional shadows from the flashes through my window in my living room.
He gonna climb up in your
I
window,
lay
be
watching
hiding
the
under your
flashes when I
bed.
saw a strange outline. I looked closer and saw an outline of a man. I stood up and walked out of my room. I walked into the living room. It was completely dark outside. I stood in the doorway and waited. A car's headlight illuminated the pale, shallow face of Frank P.
No!
I ran into my room and locked the door. I never saw him after that night. But whenever I see that baby blue uniform, I think back to that night and that haunting image of a skeletal, unnatural face of Frank P.
Oh my God, that is so creepy. I can't, bro. True bathroom stories. Okay.
This is a true horrifying incident that happened to me when I was very young. The year was 2007,
Damn,
and I
her
was an
forehead is
8-year-old girl
strong.
studying at a
God damn, look at that. I'm sorry. That's your poking.
school. The school was old, and it was built after the war and Japanese invasion in my country. I heard that there were Japanese army men and local people killed on the land brutally. And many teachers and students claim that they have encountered paranormal activity.
Uh-oh.
Although I've never seen anything paranormal at the school, this place still gave me a creepy vibe. My class was located on the second floor, just beside the girls' bathroom. The chilling part is, we could see an old cemetery park from there
always a
before
cemetery.
entering the bathroom. One day, when I was studying in my class, I wanted to pee. So, I asked the teacher's permission and went to the bathroom. I got into the first stall and locked the door. There was no light or anyone in there. It was just me. Everything was silent until suddenly, someone banged and kicked the
You know, that's the scariest shit when you, like, sit down. Alright, I'm about to take this good shit. I can't wait to just push and it just fall out of me. TMI, I know. And then you hear on the door. Immediately, you just shit yourself on accident into the toilet. But now you gotta, like, hold the sides and push your feet up to the door to hold the door closed while you're like, shit is in your ass. I'm sorry. I can't.
door that was in front of me. I was in shock and froze for the first seconds. I don't know why, but I didn't scream for my life. I just quickly pushed against the door so the person wouldn't break in. After a few minutes, the banging stopped. I waited for a few more minutes and opened the door. There was
Why?
no one in there.
Ooh, I'm about to
I
punch
walked
her in the
out ready
face.
to go back to my
Why
classroom.
would you do that?
Then, I saw a student with broad shoulders and chocolate skin standing opposite of my direction.
Chocolate
He was
skin.
looking at me with a smile on his face. I froze because he was one of my classmates, and he
What?
actually sat near me. I think, after he saw me go out of the bathroom, he followed me, and that was him inside. I quickly returned to my classroom and didn't speak of anything about it to anyone. The student soon went in and sat down quietly. I cannot
His face. Hold on. I'm sorry. I don't want to mess up the joke, but look how he sat down and
anyone.
looked at her.
The student soon went in and sat down quietly.
He's like, What the fuck is that?
I cannot recall his
Oh,
name,
God.
but I still remember this incident even now. I will never forget this horrifying experience. I
How did
wonder
he
what
just
would have
walk
happened
into the
to
girl's
me
bathroom like
if
that?
I didn't lock the door, or if he had successfully broke in that day.
He'd have got some something that you wasn't giving away.
This happened a few months ago when my family and I were driving back from my aunt's house in Carmel. The sun
Carmel?
was slowly starting to set as we continued driving. As my mom started to get tired of driving, my dad spotted a nice-looking hotel that was pushed back in the forest. My mom pulled over and we walked towards the hotel. The place seemed nice, but
I don't know
I had
if
a
y'all
bad
know.
feeling about the hotel.
I got these
My
Jones.
dad asked the
They
lady at the
bang.
front
They
desk
bang.
if there were any spare rooms that we could stay in for the night. The lady surprisingly said yes, but that our shower was broken and that unfortunately they wouldn't be able to fix it. But she said we could use the community
Wait. Oh, I guess the shower was broken in their hotel, but like, how is every...
showers on the second floor. We took the elevator
What
up to
hotel
our
got a
room
public
and
shower?
set down our things. I decided before I went to bed that I would use the community showers. As I walked to the showers, I realized
Wait a minute. She going by
that they were
herself?
much different than normal showers. To start off, there was a door connecting the boys' community showers to the girls' community
Okay,
showers.
that's not good for one.
Secondly, instead of shower curtains, we had glass doors.
That's two.
So much for privacy.
Ain't no privacy.
As I looked
Where your mom
around,
at?
I realized the showers were completely empty. I thought to myself, if I took a quick shower, then I wouldn't have to worry about anyone walking in. I hopped in.
You better
and
go get a
washed
rag,
myself.
hit that sink
As
up.
time went
I'm
on,
not
glass
with the
started to get
public,
very
bruh.
foggy, and I couldn't see anything outside. I heard the door that connected the boys' showers to the girls' showers open. Why the hell would a boy want to come in here? Since I
A
couldn't
creep,
see
that's what
anything,
that is.
I decided to wipe my hand on the glass to get rid of the fog. As I did that, I saw a homeless man in his mid-40s with greasy hair,
I'm sorry.
with his face directly on the glass
Bruh.
looking at me with a smirk. As I looked down, I saw he was holding a large
Why did the hotel let this dirty ass nigga into the damn hotel? Look at this man. He is greasy as hell. Look at his chest hair. It's like a signature on Oh no.
kitchen knife.
No.
Screamed and I opened the glass door as fast as I could, knocking the guy to the ground. I quickly
Right,
grabbed
girl.
a towel and ran out. I ran to our room and told my parents what
This is your fault, Mom. That is your fault. That's your daughter.
happened. We immediately called the police and they arrived and searched the showers. They found him knocked out in the same position
Damn.
I had knocked him out in. Apparently,
That door
he
must
was
have
a
hurt it.
registered sex offender and even went as far as to raping a girl my age. They
my
arrested
God.
him and I'm not sure what they did after that. This story still terrifies me to this day,
Yeah, she
and I never
traumatized.
went back to the hotel in fear that I might see him again.
I'm suing, bro. Who let that dirty ass nigga inside the hotel?
My name is Victor, and I'm 23 years old. I have a story that happened to me when I was 17 years old. I work as a carpenter at a local building company, and this happened at the period
At
when I was a
17?
trainee for the same company.
Okay.
We were renovating a
career.
very old apartment building from around the 1960s that was going to be school classrooms for a school that had bought the building. As many carpenters, we were working on Friday, which basically means that we started earlier the rest of the week so we could go home early on Fridays, which means it was a lot of very early mornings. So one day, I was on my way to work at about 4:30 in the morning.
Strike one. The background's forest.
I was walking the usual way to my bus. It was about 1 kilometer. It was through the block I was living on, and then through a small path in the forest, about 200 meters. By this time in the morning, it was still pitch black, because it was winter and I live in Sweden, so the path through the forest was like a black hole. So I grabbed my phone and put the flashlight on, an old iPhone 4S by the way, and
Yeah,
began
iPhone 4S.
walking the small path. About halfway on the path, I heard a crackling noise from my right and flashed my light in the direction and saw nothing. I just figured it was an animal or something. At the end of the path, I heard the crackling noise again, but this time it was much closer.
You about
I'd
to get
always
got.
been a little paranoid in the dark, but was trying to get over it. But I began walking a little faster anyway, keeping an eye behind me the whole time. When I arrived at the bus station, I sat down, waiting for the bus, and was saying to myself that I was a coward for being so paranoid about a small sound I heard.
I mean, you got
I
the
could
right to
see
be.
the forest I walked through from the bus station because it was only about 50 meters from the station. And when I looked at the path, I saw a man standing behind a tree right under a street light about 10 meters to the right of the path, and he was clearly watching me.
Yeah.
He was wearing black pants and an old light blue, almost pastel-colored jacket, like it was from the 80s. I felt a bit sick when I realized he was
bus.
watching me,
That's good timing,
even though
actually.
it was only for about 20 seconds before I saw the bus arriving from around the corner. I immediately felt relief when I saw the bus. So I stepped on the bus, and it was as usual, completely empty. I sat at the back of the bus
Is
and
he
looked
gonna get on
back
the
at
bus
the
with him?
forest to see if the man was still there, but he wasn't. When the bus began to take off, I heard a thud right beside my window. I quickly looked at the side and saw an arm reaching up to my
He
window
playing
waving
games.
at me, and the arm was wearing a light blue jacket. I didn't have time to see his face because he was wearing a hood, and the bus had already taken off. On the way down to downtown, I
better
tried
be
not to
lucky.
think about the man, but it was so hard because it was so weird, and something like that had never happened to me before. I eventually got off the bus at my bus stop and began walking to the building where I had my working clothes and my gear. It was really close to my bus stop, so it only took me maybe about 5 minutes to walk there. When I arrived at the door to the building, I grabbed my key and was about to put it in the keyhole when I saw in the corner of my eye, peeking out from the building's corner,
How the fuck he get there so fast? We ain't seen no cars driving next to that bus, but he got there before he got there.
that man in the light blue jacket standing, looking at me. I quickly unlocked the door,
You're like,
ran inside, locked it behind me. After that, it was 2 more doors. Both needed
Oh,
an
shit.
access card,
High security.
so nobody
Smart.
without the card could get inside. After the first door, it was a long hallway. To the left, only lit up by a few lights in the roof, and a ring in front of you. It was the second door that led to my locker in the coffee room. I ran as fast as I could. I was shaking at this time. There is no way I could think of how he could have got down here so fast. I put on some coffee and changed to my working clothes. It was completely quiet in the room. It felt like hours before my coworkers showed up. When they finally showed up,
Hey,
I
Tim.
felt
Hey,
the best
man.
feeling in a long time. When it was time to get started with working, we began walking towards the elevator that led up to the top floor, which we were currently working on. When we arrived at the top floor, I realized I forgot my helmet in the locker.
Is he
So I
gonna
took
be
the elevator
downstairs?
down, went through the 2 doors, and got my helmet, and was making my way back up to the others. When I had opened the first door and was standing in the dark hallway, I froze. I heard someone whispering my name from the back of the hallway.
You know your name?
I looked down the hallway and saw the same man, the same light blue jacket. He was standing.
This man got powers. It's obvious. You get on the bus, he waving at you. Bye. You get off the bus, he already there. Powers. You get through the locked doors. Boom, boom, boom. Got through the key one, locked it. Use your key pass. Boom. You need a password or whatever to get in. Boom, locked it. How did he get into the hallway without the key pass? It's obvious he floated through the walls. It's obvious that he has powers. He's an
And they're
X-Men.
looking at me. Then he said something I will never forget. "You look so peaceful when you sleep, Victor," he said in a deep but shaking voice. I felt my whole world shatter.
That meant he was
when
in your
said
house.
that. Then I ran for it. I opened the door and slammed it behind me. I ran to the elevator and
I swear to God, if he's upstairs, this is real.
smashed the button to the top floor. It felt like I was going 100 floors before I got to the top. I ran to the others and told them what happened. They just laughed at me and thought I was silly, saying that nobody can get in there without a card.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
planned to call the police, but I didn't for some reason. Probably
Why not?
because I didn't want to look like a coward in front of the others.
Man,
Eventually, I never saw that man again. I don't know if I was hallucinating or he was really there. I have no idea. But I never walked the same path to my bus again, and I always sleep with my curtains down, even to this day.
you slept with your curtains up? Well, that's how he know how you sleep. So he was watching you from the jump. Smiling woman. Okay.
I was 10 years old, and I was home alone. But that wasn't a big deal
That's a
because we
DS?
lived in a
That's
small
funny.
city. My mom and dad were at my grandma's house. I couldn't go because I was sick. It was around 9 p.m. when I was about to
Those
go to
clocks
sleep.
scare me. I don't know
My
why.
room was really small, and it only had one window facing my bed. That window to me was kind of scary, because when you're a little kid,
Why you
your
ain't got, like,
imagination can
blinds on the
sometimes
window?
go wild. At that time, it wasn't my imagination, though. Like I said,
What the?
I was about to go to bed when I heard a loud scream coming from outside. It was really scary, but I tried to be quiet so I could listen to what was going on outside. Nothing was happening, though. It was really quiet, like nothing had happened at all. Quieter than
hell?
normal, actually. Some time had passed, and everything seemed okay, so I just
Yeah, I
lay
can't go
down
back to
and
sleep
tried
after
to
that.
sleep. 1 hour later, I heard that loud scream again, but this time, it seemed to be closer. I froze. I was so freaked out I couldn't even move. 30 minutes later, again, the same scream. At that point, I was about to cry. I don't know why, but that scream wasn't just a scream. It was at this high pitch, and it was just so...
I can't. I couldn't take all that screaming. Like the first time, okay. The second time is not okay. You need to get up and make some moves. Call somebody. Mom, somebody screaming outside, or call the cops. Look at this. That's not even the way the scream is coming out, but it's coming out like that. Like, you know what I mean.
Finally, 15 minutes later, I saw something at that window. It was a really skinny woman, and she seemed so happy for
God!
some reason. She was smiling, and her smile was so big and creepy. When I saw her, I started crying, and she started screaming again. I was
Yo, I can't. I got the chills. Yo, this is my goosebumps. I don't know if you can see it. Bruh, I can't. I can't. No.
horrified. She was just looking at me, smiling and screaming for the whole night. The next morning, my parents came back home, and I told them everything. They called the police, and the police found out that my window, that was facing my bed, was broken. But it didn't seem like it was broken with some sort of weapon, but as if it were broken by a really high pitch.
Okay. I forgot to read that. It was
I
a
was
creepy
10 at
guy
the time this
hiding
happened.
somewhere.
I loved my bedroom, since it had a TV, a bed, and a closet, with my computer on my desk.
It's a standard bedroom.
One night when I was sleeping, I heard a noise coming from my closet, which kind of woke me up. I didn't mind it at all because I was still trying to fall back asleep to go to school tomorrow. 3 hours later, after I woke up and ate breakfast, I was getting ready to pack my bag, which was in my bedroom, for school. When I got in my room and packed my bag,
You
I
don't
looked at the
previously do that?
window and saw some tall black figure with a hoodie outside
What's up with this guy showing up at everybody's house? That's creepy, man.
of my bedroom window. My heart dropped,
Yep.
and when I said, "Who in the world is that?"
Who in the
the
world?
figure ran away.
Who in the
I
world is
didn't
that?
see the figure's face since he was wearing a black hoodie, and it was a little dark outside since it was 5 a.m. in the morning.
Bruh, where are your parents?
After I came back from school, I was on my phone researching for my school project. Suddenly, I heard a loud tap on the window. It was that figure
Yo,
again.
where's
And
your
this
parents?
time, I saw his face. He was a man in his late 40s. He had wrinkly skin and had black hair. He smiled at me and said, "Hey, want some candy?" come outside of your house and I'll give you some.
My phone is ringing. Hold on.
He laughed and waited for me to come outside. He ran to the front door and made a mistake by standing there because my dad was going to go to work.
Damn,
he
fuck
opened
him
the
up.
front door and yelled at him
Oh,
to get the hell off his
fuck him up.
property or he'll call the police. I rushed to my dad and told him he had been outside of my bedroom window stalking me. He was about to call the police when he realized he didn't want me to get scared that I was going to get kidnapped or something. So he said he would install security cameras. The
Call
only
the
reason
cops,
why I
bruh.
didn't scream when he was outside of my bedroom window is because that I thought it was one of my friends trying to study with me. But I thought to myself,
Your friends come up to your window like, hey man, you want some candy? Let's study for math. No,
why
nigga.
the hell would any of my friends want to study at 5 a.m. in the morning? And none of my friends were really that tall. That night,
This little boy is stupid.
I heard someone laughing in my closet.
Oh!
I didn't open my eyes, but I was scared to death, since I heard that he was scratching the bedroom closet with something that sounded kind of like a knife. I waited a minute or two until I built up my courage to make a run for it and screamed for my life while I ran to my parents' bedroom and locked the door. I explained to them what happened, and there was someone in my closet. My mom called 911, and the guy was saying stuff like, "Come out, and I won't make your parents watch as I stab you."
What the fuck?
And that was the thing that made me so scared, because my brain was alerting me that he did have a knife. Seconds later, we heard sirens, and me and my parents heard the police bust the door yelling, "Police, drop your weapon and put your hands up." Me and my parents were relieved that he was gone. I was very lucky that my closet was far away from my bed. It turned out that the guy was a crazy mental guy who escaped from his mental hospital by stabbing the security
You see how he was giving it to you, shaking the shit out of him.
guards and breaking out.
Yo.
From now on, my parents have set up security cameras in each and every room and also outside. Who knows what would have happened to me if I didn't hear him laughing in my closet?
Bruh, you'd have got
Would I
stabbed
have
the
been
fuck
stabbed
up.
to death?
Yeah.
Or what if he was hiding under my bed?
He'd have stabbed
Since
us
that
through the
day, I
bed.
still don't know how we got in my parents' house. Maybe my mom or dad forgot to lock the front door. Or he got in from my bedroom window.
Oh my god. That means he was playing games with you, like, yo. He was in my man's closet, walked in the hallways like, I'm gonna stab the fuck out of you in front of your parents. Yo. Shout out to Weinstein Entertainment, bruh. Oh my god. These stories is crazy, bruh. These are some crazy ass stories. Y'all want some more of these videos? Let me know. Go subscribe to Weinstein Entertainment. Yo. Oh my god, they get all the fucking credit, bruh. That shit is crazy. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.